We're back here on UFC Fight Pass. I'm TJ DeSantis, along with, a man of many trades,
All right.
many talents, Joel McHale.
God bless you.
How are you, Joel?
It's a good hair day.
Really?
Yeah, it's good.
Rub that in my face, Joel. Come on now.
Well, if you pay me enough on Cameo, I will.
All right, there you go. Cameo.com.
TJ, you're very lucky, TJ. You have the right head.
That's true. That is true. I mean, if there's any silver lining in the fact that my hair abandoned me, it's that it's relatively a good shape.
And think about the savings.
Yeah, that's true. I was a guy who did a lot with product, so I would get the $70 haircut, and then that wouldn't include the dye job and then the product. So yeah, you're right, Joel. You're looking at the bright side of things.
When you decided to go fully bald, when was that? Like, how old were you?
I was like 27.
All right, yeah.
But I probably should have gone, made that decision around 23.
Yeah. Do you think if this was the 70s, you would have just grown out the sides? Like, I don't know, like some of the old pro tennis players?
And why not? I mean, if that was the look, I had the ability to have that look,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wear sunscreen?
I just don't go outside generally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that solves that problem.
Yeah, I just kind of hang out in here. Talk to people like you. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
This is how I thought this was going to go.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to talk to you about some things, not just about my.
I would love to.
Yes, let's do it.
Do it.
Crime Scene Kitchen. It is premiering tonight on Fox. While people see this, it'll probably going to be a couple days after it releases. When I saw the name Crime Scene Kitchen, reminded me of every time I've tried to cook in my house. My wife tells me that I leave the kitchen messy, like a crime scene. This is not a documentary about my life. Tell us about Crime Scene Kitchen.
Well, that actually is a pretty darn good idea for a show. Just people going into kitchens not knowing what they're doing and seeing if they survive. Here's what happens. A chef goes into a kitchen, is murdered, and then, we compete to see what he was about to cook.
Interesting. So
yeah, it's pretty edgy.
Are there.
Yeah, it's edgy. There's no instructions. It's edgy. I mean, that guy is dead. Right. No, it's called Crime Scene because, people go into this kitchen. It's very flashy with lots of lights, just like every kitchen.
Right.
And something's been baked or cooked. It can be sweet or savory. But there's no recipe, and there's just stuff that remnants of what it was. These teams of bakers and chefs go in. They've got a minute or like a minute and a half to kind of like look at the clues, and then we're like, all right, you get 4 hours to try to make this, and then the big reveal is like a big unboxing is like who guessed right, and who made something edible. So last year, we drank raw eggs or ate raw eggs in one of the recipes, which is not the greatest dessert. It turns out it's one of the, on the spectrum of desserts. It turns out it's not great.
How picky of an eater are you? Like, are you someone who's adventurous?
Yes, I would eat anything.
Really?
Pretty much. I've eaten cobra. That was pretty good. I've eaten at this Japanese restaurant here called Urasawa, flying fish sperm sack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's part of the fish. And I know all your listeners and viewers right now are thinking about things. And no, I will eat. Yeah, I'm pretty darn adventurous. But it's funny because I'm not. I was never like into cakes and stuff, just because, I don't know, see them at the grocery store, and I didn't realize the kind of art and history of why cakes even look the way they do. It's because basically French royalty way back when was like, I want a piece of art. I want to be able to eat it. Oh, and it has to be able to stand there at our party. And then when people see it, they go, holy fuck, well, how did you do that? And then I started eating some of these things, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing. No wonder this thing is around the world now. So, like, I'd never had a princess cake before, which is covered in that. You just look it up, and you'll be like, that's a crazy looking thing, and it was so good. So there you go.
It probably won't surprise you that, like, I like cake without frosting. I just,
now
I'm plain. You know,
all frosting?
Yeah, I mean, like a chocolate peanut butter frosting might be okay, but like I don't generally enjoy like buttercream frosting. I just don't like it.
See, I feel like you need to, like, the world of cake. Like, that's one little, color on the gigantic spectrum. There's a whole world of cake out there
Right.
that you're going to.
I prefer a strawberry shortcake,
Okay.
but like
Yeah.
actual shortcake, not like angel food cake, which is what you get at the store these days.
Would you eat that plain without
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I also like
So
strawberries on it, you know?
if it's after dinner, you just watched another episode of Succession
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever you're into. Maybe I don't know. What is that new one where the people are yelling at each other all the time? Beef.
Beef, never saw it.
But what are you reaching for dessert?
Maybe ice cream. I like ice cream. I like a hot fudge sundae, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So Baskin Robbins, when you see it, do you go,
Yeah, I don't mind a Baskin Robbins. I'm more into like the fancy pants ice cream places where you get to make your own concoction, if you will. Like what's it called? Like I think there's a place called Creamistry where you get to pick your base. Do you want a dairy base? Do you want a non-dairy base? And then they freeze it right in front of you. It's weird looking, but it's fun.
What is this Creamistry?
Yeah, check it out. Yeah.
Where do you live?
Southern California. Orange County.
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty vague, but Orange County's zeroing in on it. All right. Don't you? I like people from I always pointing this out. They're like, where are you from? They're like, from the Bay Area. I'm like, oh, that's 1,000 square miles. You just.
I'm originally from Minneapolis, and I don't really know how people like if I said Placentia, California, that's where I live.
Right. But you never went. Where are you from originally? You never went upper Midwest.
No, I just went Minneapolis, the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul.
The people that live in, I don't know, Oakland or Alameda are like Bay Area. I'm like, so much space. Like,
True.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a very convoluted. I'm really talking about fighting a lot, is what I want to point out. Anyway,
we'll get there.
Crime scene kitchen, and then whoever loses gets choked out.
That'd be pretty great. Could you choke them out, Joel McHale? Could you do that yourself?
Yes.
Yeah?
But I do that recreationally.
All right, so tell me about your training on the mats.
Oh, man. Thank you. My regimen is it's really something. I don't use a mat.
Okay.
It's usually like a tennis racket.
All right.
I notice that's way more effective when fighting a person. If you just swing away with a tennis racket, I find that they are pretty solid and light.
That's true.
Why, a baseball bat, you get thrown off balance. Sure, if you connect, terrific.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that's you get one swing with a good fighter and then you're toast.
You're making me change my outlook on like home defense right now because I'm pretty irresponsible. So I should probably never have a gun. I have a baseball bat, but I'll be honest with you, I overestimate my strength, and baseball bats are heavy. I might be trading it in for a tennis racket.
Here is some mean, yes. I mean, I was joking, but if you want, I'm not kidding. This is because I'm obsessed with swords and knives.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
All right.
If you're worried for your home,
right?
Which we all should be slightly concerned. I agree. A gun, the only person I'm going to shoot is most likely me, because I'll be. But instead of a baseball bat, you need a short sword.
A short sword.
Yes. Here's why. Because first of all, you're probably going to be in your bedroom or a hallway or a room, and a baseball bat is a big thing to swing indoors. A short sword, shorter, and no matter where you connect, it's a hit.
It's true.
And all defense is also offense because you're swinging that thing around trying to block them.
Yeah. And also, too, if you break into somebody's house and they've got a goddamn sword, like, you might just leave. It's like, I don't want that.
And if you scream, like, the prophecy will come true at the same time, then they really get freaked out. But as we know from 1,000 different, well, I guess it's maybe not the same with UFC fighting, soon as somebody sees their own blood.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For the most part. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was an article. I can't believe I know stuff like this, but way back when, this was like 20 years ago in Boston, I think it was a BU student. His house kept getting broken into by guys, by people that were high, and it was bad. So he walked downstairs, and this guy was in his kitchen, and he came at him, and he had his roommate's samurai sword, and you don't have to know anything about sword fighting. If you just go like, ah, like you're trying to stop, like you walk into a spider web. So anyway, the guy perished, the guy that was attacking him.
Okay.
And the officers were like, yeah, his hand was off. He had multiple slices. He basically bled to death. I mean, horrible. But the guy was being attacked, and a baseball bat wouldn't really do that. I can't believe I've led the conversation.
Well, did they bring in like a group of celebrity judges and then chefs to try to cook what the guy was trying to make in the guy's kitchen?
Oh, amazingly, it was Curtis Stone and Yolanda Gamp, who were also on Crime Scene Kitchen. They were, horrified by the amount of blood,
right.
But
Episode
they figured it out, and it was a Chateaubriand.
Perfect. There you go.
Curtis Stone, Chef Curtis Stone, who has got the greatest hair of all time. He is one of the judges, and he is a frickin' computer. There's only a few people I've ever met like him, like Gordon Ramsay's the same way, where they can just sort of, it's like they have the entire history. If you ask them like something about, hey, what happened on May 1st, 1940 in World War II, they would be like, oh yeah, all right, well, that's when Sevastopol was taken, whatever it is.
Right.
And Yolanda Gamp she's known as the Beyonce of cake makers. And if you look at her Instagram, she is the absolute inspiration for how cakes are made now and what people do with them.
That's unbelievable.
And, the use of fondant, she took it to, she's the Steve Jobs of fondant.
I mean, the Steve Jobs of fondant. There's a lot to break down there, actually.
You're right. I mean, before Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, it was just a pile of wires and some plastic and a television screen. And if you got a second, you can even pause it, look up her stuff. It's freaking amazing.
I will as soon as we get done here, because we're running short on time, and
I've talked a lot. I
appreciate it. I mean, this is one of my favorite interviews, to be honest with you, Joel.
And John Jones comes on and he beats the shit out of everybody. It's great.
Let's talk a little bit about the UFC. I got some notes here that said you hosted a UFC 264 watch party. I used to be really good with numbers. Someone could say, oh, UFC 40, and be like, Vendetta, Tito Ortiz, fucking Shamrock. I basically have like a...
No, it's what's happened to me. I can't keep track. I mean, I do appreciate how the UFC just numbers them.
Right. I mean, keep it simple.
When I look at the Super Bowl, I'm like, there's so many Roman numerals here. I don't know what's happening, where we're going.
Well, at UFC 264, though, let me break this down real quick for the listeners. It's Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, their third meeting, which infamously ends with Conor's leg snapping in half, his ankle breaking off. Well, I mean, I couldn't watch it. Like, I'm paid to cover the sport. I saw it happen live, and I just didn't look again for the replays. I don't need to see that more than once.
I am a masochist when it comes to that sort of thing. I can watch it over and over, but it makes me jump up. It makes me. That was okay. Like when I see a person turn their ankle, it's more like that's more dramatic for me because it's happened to me so many times. When I see someone break their leg like that, I'm like, this looks like a cartoon almost. What's happening? So it's not a. It seems totally I mean, it becomes this ridiculous. It's never happened to me. Cut to me falling down my stairs right now. So that was. I found that particular move because what's his name? The other Portier knew he broke it.
Yeah,
pointed to it, and you could see they pointed it out. I thought that. I mean, obviously, it's one of the most watched clips in UFC history. But Yeah, no, when it happened live, I leapt out of my chair, out of like, ugh, like that. And
Yeah.
it's great, great time. So you never watched it since?
No, thank you.
Is that one of the most? I mean, I know each one is wildly popular. Was
Yeah.
that the most popular?
For that time, yeah, I think we've had some bigger fights since then. Unfortunately, though, that's an injury that happens way more often than you would think. Leg breaks have been a kind of a semi common
Regular.
thing. Yeah, I mean, that's over exaggerating it, but you see one every probably 500 fights, it seems, and that's a lot more than we ever used to. Joel, I got to get you out of here, get you on your way. I appreciate your time. Crime Scene Kitchen premieres tonight on Fox. Is it season 2?
Season 2.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
And then season 2, Animal Control, that you starred in, just got picked up as well.
Animal Control is picked up. We'll see after what happens with the WGA strike. So, hashtag WGA strong. All the things they've, are demanding are very reasonable, and I couldn't be more agreement. But yeah, it'll come back at some point.